Okay, according to the instructions I have here, here's what I need to do. To activate the machine, follow the 3 simple steps. Step 1. Place the following items on the pedestals. The items you will need are 1 plushie, 1 book, 1 record, 1 wrench, 1 jar of ink, and 1 gear. Next, activate the ink flow by turning on the radio. And last but not least, pull the lever and the machine shall activate. Alrighty, now we can begin on our showcase, but right after I turn off the machine and stop the ink from flooding.
Hey, what's up, you guys? My name is Boris and welcome back to LEGO Arts. Now, if you recall, in the last episode, I did the second wave of Kingdom Hearts with Organization 13, and if you remember, in the end of that episode, I did a teaser of what the next episode was going to be, and here it is, and none other than LEGO Bendy and the Ink Machine. I've been working on these figures for quite some time, and if you remember back when I did the episode on Arrow Showcase, I showed you guys a preview of like a future set that I was building that I said that, and that's it's not that it wasn't gonna be the next episode because I was still working on it, and it was this one. So here we have Bendy, the little demon himself, besides Boris the wolf and Alice Angel, all of which in their original cartoon forms, because I wanted to make these ones first. First off, I might do the monster ones in the future. Actually, scratch that. I will do them because I'm already working on like some future stuff. So, as you can also see in the background, like I finished the figures, but I kind of wanted to wait until I finished up the background because I wanted really to make this an interesting one. And also as a little preview for what I'm going to be doing in the future. So, as usual, we're going to take these minifigures one at a time, and I'll show you guys of how they went. To start things off, we have the dancing demon himself, Bendy. Indeed, this was like the first out of the other two to make, and this was actually pretty easy to do. For the head, like, instead of just taking a normal Lego head and, like, sculpting around the head, I just took some molding clay and then sculpted around, like, the neck where you connect the head to the body, and this came out pretty good. However, it's super glued in, so I can't rotate the head and all that stuff, but that's okay. I think this came out nice. We also have, like his gloves here. See here, this was pretty easy to do. I just took some white hands and painted some black dots on them, and the body, and of course I just painted up in black. Like, it was very easy to make. The bow tie, I wanted to make 3-dimensional. Like, I wanted to add some 3D elements to some of the characters, and I decided, like, let's do the bow tie, because I wanted it to stand out more rather than just, like, paint it on. I wanted to make it a little bit 3-dimensional, add some uniqueness to it. So I think this came out pretty good. Oh, this came out very nice. Very nice. I'm very satisfied of how this Bendy came out. And with the face, all I did was just, like, painted it white. I first painted it black, then I painted on the face, and then I took a Sharpie, did the eyes and the mouth, and then everything came in all together. So that is Bendy for us. Let's move on to our next minifigure. Next up is everyone's favorite wolf, and that is Boris the wolf. This was, like, the second one I was working. I was working on him and Alice Angel at the same time, but this one was, like, the first one I got done. Not done. So, like, we got his arms. Arms just simple black and white. His overalls. Those were pretty easy to do. The only, like, hard part to them was, like, figuring out measurement-wise of, like, how far they had to go, and, like, how much, like, paint I needed to apply to, like, counteract against, like, the white and black. Like, and then when I was done, I took a Sharpie and then drew out the details. There's not really anything on the back. But this is paint. But, like, his back is painted on for the overalls are supposed to be. His feet, though, are slightly taller, because as this was also kind of a test run of, like, eventually of how I would do a Goofy minifigure for my Kingdom Hearts series, of, like, to figure out, like, how would I be able to do this, because I didn't want to, like, go on Amazon and just buy another Toy Story minifigure, or take one of the minifigures I already have, because I didn't want to, like, waste on materials for, like, some other minifigures I could work on, so part of this was sort of figuring out, like, how can I make the minifigure taller without buying long legs? And this was the results. And I think it came out pretty nice. Here's his, and of course, here's his head. It's not exactly like the one in the game, but it's closest to what I can get of what Boris would look like. But unlike Bendy, his head can actually be removed, because I decided to just take play and then sculpt around a head that I wasn't using, or a head that I wanted to get rid of, because I want to use it for the future. And then I drew on the eyes, and the rest of the face. And super glued the nose on, painted it black, like detailed to the rest of the head, and this came out pretty good. This came out pretty good for Boris. And now we'll move on to our last minifigure. And last but not least, she was sent from above, and that is Alice Angel. Angel, like the good Alice, not the twisted, it's the demonic version, which I will make in the future, but today, let's focus on this Alice. So, like, I was making this around the same time as Boris, and it was another thing to do, like, how would I figure out the figure? Because most of this body was easy. Like, for the gloves, for instance, I just painted them white, and then, like, drew the circles on there. Gave out, like, her little, her dress, as, like, minus the straps. I originally thought that this Alice had straps, but that was another Alice. And, of course, with the feet as well, it has, like, kind of that skirt effect. And in fact, I chose to just paint on the skirt. Hang on. Can I move this leg? Okay, I can. Okay, I can move that one. Okay, good. And of course, like with Bendy, a 3D bow tie, but this one was actually a bit smaller to make. And then the face, I just painted a head white, and then I carefully drew the face on, because as I decided to do that, it would have saved me a lot of time. Kind of like trying to work on a decal to make this. The real difficulty, though, was the hairpiece. So, hang on. Let me see if I can take it off. I gotta be careful, because I don't want the horns to break. Okay, here we go. And, of course, we have a little bit of, like, the dress on the other side. And, I'll set that aside for now. So, for the hairpiece, this was a little bit difficult to make. Where I got this, though, for Christmas, one of my presents was, like, a whole bunch of minifigure parts, and some of those parts were like, a lot of hair pieces, and so, like, this hairpiece I found very good, like, it really suited well for Alice. Yeah, sorry, so, what I did was, I took some of my air dry clay, and like, made the horns, had to super glue them on for reinforcement, and then the halo was kind of hard, because as I had to make sure that it was wide enough so that it would rest on both horns, because, like, I couldn't just have it, like, floating right in the center, even though that's how Alice actually looks like. We have not yet developed the technology for, like, levitation stuff, so, like, I came up with a substitute, and plus, I didn't want to, like, stick a rod in the hairpiece that the halo would connect with. I thought that would look stupid. Plus, this way, it actually, like, captures the whole minifigure together. And this looks very nice. This looks very good. Very good. So, before we wrap this video up, I'll give you guys... let's take a look at the background and some of the stuff that I put in there. So, as you can see, like, the environment that I used for this showcase, it's sort of like a preview of some stuff that I'm going to be doing in the future. So, let's look at some of the stuff that I've done. So, here we have, like, the pedestals, and we have the items you need to perform the ritual. So, we have the plushie, the book, like, the record, the wrench, the ink jar, and the gear. Of course, over here we have, like, a little Bendy cutout, the walls sticking out, and we have some of the posters, like Little Devil Darling, Cheap Songs, and The Dancing Demon. And, of course, we have the lever to activate the machine, and can actually be pushed down carefully. There we go. And, of course, we have over here and like a whiteboard here that has like a little audio log. Okay, why is my hand shaking? Stop that. And of course, like the radio to play like some of the fan music. But like the real thing over here is the ink machine itself. So I built this right before Chapter 4 came out. So like I'm aware of the new design, but I had built this at the time and I didn't want to remake it. So plus this came out pretty cool. So as you can see, like and like we got the gears on the front of it, some detailing on the back. Of course, like behind it we have the massive jar of ink that like powers the machine, and on both sides we have gears that run through the machine. And this isn't just like a normal like ink machine. This is actually a clay whistle that's I made in sculpture. If you want, and for a little demonstration, you know what I mean. Check this out. So yeah, I built this for school, and at the time I wanted to make like something Bendy and the ink machine related, and so since I was working on this, I decided like I'll build the ink machine at school, and this came out pretty well. This came out very well. Though this was very hard to make, especially of making an actual whistle. It was not easy. I will leave it at that. And like some of the items that I made here, I didn't use like regular clay. I used like permoplaster, I think is what it's called. Called clay. It's good for sculpting. It's not very good for drying though, because I guess I looked it up. This is like clay for like school education and stop motion animation. So it's not very good for drying, and I didn't realize that until like I was done with all of this, and at that point I was like, I'm not really sure if I want to like get a bunch of other clay to just work on this one. I'll stick with like air drying clay, but I'll only use the permoplaster stuff like absolutely necessary. Okay, so let's wrap this video up. And that concludes this episode of LEGO Arts. Alright, so I really hope you guys have enjoyed this. It was very fun making this showcase. I'm planning on having this background as like a unit set. Cause like the hole in the wall, the posters, and the lever, they're all like they all have masking tape behind them. Cause I planned to like take those down and like rearrange them and put like new environments behind them. So it was very fun making these minifigures. I plan to do like a few more Bendy and the Ink Machine minifigures in the future. Let me know what you guys think about the comments below. And also for like the animation that I did in the beginning. It was just, it's kind of a sneak peek of what I plan to do in the future. Like, I plan not just to do like showcases of these things. I also want to put them in fun little animations. So, keep your eyes out for more on that in the future. Sure, alright. And so, for now, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, hit that like button, comment below what you think, share this to your friends, subscribe for more content. And here's a howl for the road. Ow! Thank you guys, and I'll see you next time when the X Moon rises.